But it's not just embedded reporters that are the problem. There is an active campaign in Afghanistan and other places to distort the truth by buying off journalists and radio stations that are meant to be independent, that have been set up by USAID and claim to be independent. So we can see in this material, in the Afghan war diaries, numerous examples of journalists or radio stations being given PSYOP content. So here's an example where Radio Ghazwan was given 12 hours of psychological operations radio content programming and a schedule on which it was dictated on, and we can see the payment. And in one of these handouts you'll see another, but there's quite a lot of these occurring in Afghanistan, and unfortunately what this means is that if there is a victory of a sort by ISAF forces, how legitimate will that victory be? If it came about as a result of manipulating the population into an untruthful understanding of what the war was about. So, unfortunately, these sorts of operations, which we've also seen in relation to Farsi news sites paid for by the State Department and run by Israel, mean that the legitimate dissent within a country, legitimate campaigns against the Taliban and their abuses cannot be trusted because you never know who's actually paying for it. Similarly, legitimate dissidents from Iran who start up news sites, are their voices to be trusted or not? The Iranian population can't tell because a lot of them are propaganda sites. And we then end up into a situation where the population has nothing to go on, where everything is some kind of mud, where each step is a step into quicksand intellectually because it's not based upon anything that's firm or grounded. And we hope in our release of material like this and all the other sorts of things we've done over the years, where we've provided information that is not opinion and it is not our analysis, although we have done that, but rather it is the raw material produced by the organisations themselves, not for a wider audience, but rather for their own internal audience. Information that was never designed to manipulate you or some other population group or journalists, but rather was designed for the internal constraints, if you like, to manipulate the employees or or fit in with what a hierarchy requests for an example, the United States military. And I see that as a key difference in understanding the difference between reality and a massaged perception of reality. There was criticism of these war diaries by the US administration, who tried to disarm them, saying that this was material that was not high-level analysis, that it didn't come out of the White House, but rather this was material that was collected by soldiers and intelligence agents on the ground. And that, to me, is the strength of this archive. It is interfacing, it has come about as a direct result of numerous incidents before it has had real time to be massaged or put into politically correct language. And that means that people can produce analysis on their own with these basic facts that the Pentagon and other organizations have used to perform their own analysis. All the statistical reports, nearly all the statistical reports that are coming out of the Pentagon for this war and coming out of NATO for this war are based upon this archive. So when you see a chart in civilian casualties and that going up or down at the moment it's up. That chart is a result of this material. So any sort of different statistical analysis is open to academics and to mathematicians and to journalists. So I really see this basic information from which all other information is derived as the most important ingredient to get into the historical record.
Thank you very much, Julian.